Planning and implementation. This is a presentation by the Downtown Development Authority to the City Council on September the 8th, 2009. The current planning and development process in the downtown Lakefront area is taking a different direction. We are currently in the process of reevaluating the development process. Our initial process was based upon establishing a relationship with a master developer. The master developer would essentially come in and assist the city to develop the entire lakefront area. Through the recent revitalization process activities, we've realized that we had to reevaluate the master developer concept and perhaps choose alternate ways to provide development incentives that would go along with lease agreements for the lakefront property. In general, this was a strategy that was developed by the Louisiana Speaks, Dewani Plater-Zybert, commonly known as DPZ. The yellow buildings in this particular scheme show potential new build-out or infill. The orange-colored buildings show the existing structure of the downtown lakefront area. What the DDA has been considering over the last several months is the area commonly called Tract One, which is in the foreground, which is essentially the south end of the Civic Center grounds, usually referred to as that big parking lot. In order to create the envelope for a developer, the DDA has developed several amenities projects. We have the marina that's currently under construction. We have a promenade which will take care of the public's concern about the 60-foot public servitude that was reserved in the May 5th vote. We also need to maximize the available developable land and to create a transportation grid to kind of punch through that Lakeshore Drive barrier all the way up to the lake edge. And so what we've come up with is a plan very similar to this. We've created a pedestrian greenway, as you can see, that runs from the Kirby Street entrance towards the Borderlight Park area. And we've also created a perimeter of road and alleyways so that traffic can be accessed through the site. Typical development for a subdivision would be similar to what we have in scale in the downtown area. These are images that would show the types of development, usually 2 to 4 story buildings. You would have a retail or commercial use on the downstairs area, and you would have residential and office space upstairs. These types of mixed-use developments are very popular, and this is our market studies pretty much support that these types of developments are what the baby boomer market is going to want to live in, as well as some of your young professionals. They're looking for a different lifestyle. Currently, Lake Charles and Southwest Louisiana do not really provide a lot of this urban setting, so it is going to be kind of a new development type in downtown. However, we do see a lot of success in the buildings such as Muller's and the Siobhan Loss, etc., Charleston building. Our Tract One sequencing, as you can see in the yellow portion on the bottom of this drawing, is that area on the south side of the Civic Center. We asked our planning firm DPZ to look at our market reports and come up with a sequencing plan that the city could look at and try to understand how we can meet those target markets. DPZ divided that area into some sub-areas. In Tract 1, Area 1A is the area in yellow at the bottom of the picture. This would be our first target area for mixed-use developments, very similar in size and scale to what we see on Ryan Street. Areas 1B and 1C are directly adjacent to the Civic Center. These would be approximately 6 stories tall by code, and they would be the type of buildings that would focus on hotel, conference center, and tied very closely to the use of the Civic Center. Area 2, which you see is a little bit to the east side of the Civic Center grounds, is an area that's currently controlled by the police jury, And that area we see that could be accommodating a parking deck with additional floors for some of the displaced parking on the Civic Center. We're looking at parking as a 24-hour shared use parking and are currently discussing that with the parish and the private landowners in that area. And then, of course, areas 3, 4, and 5 that are shown in the teal-colored, traditional mixed-use development that's supported by parking decks. They would have 4 or 5 or 6 stories. Very traditional. You would build that whole area, parking deck and the build-out all at one time to support a very traditional mixed-use function in that particular area. Area 3 also bounds what we would have for the attractor, the America's Wetland Discovery Center, or the National Hurricane Museum and Science Center. The Downtown Development Authority has been working to develop the south end of the Civic Center. The scale and size of buildings, building blocks as shown in this diagram, would be in line with our market studies. Our market studies do show that the empty nesters and the young professionals are the type of users for this type of development. As you can see in the yellow boxes, these would be the build-out or new buildings. This large development in the foreground would be a possible hotel or support facility that would support the Civic Center and Conference Center activities. You can see that there's a new streetscape, a new park, and a new amphitheater area, which is complemented by the marina, which is currently under construction. In the park area, we would improve the amphitheater to provide more shade and amenities. The Shiver Me Timbers Millennium Park would be retained. That's the area in gray. We would continue to have a open play field for many of our activities, runs, walks, etc. As you can see from the scale of these buildings, they're very similar in size and scale to the Ryan Street development. This would be a pedestrian corridor through the center of the development, which would connect the downtown Lakeshore Drive area through this pedestrian corridor with an access at the Boardwalk Park area. The scale of this would be very similar to what you've seen in some of your mall areas, very walkable and very conducive to the pedestrian environment. The amphitheater would be improved with shade structures and amenities. The round circle that you see would be an interactive fountain that would be a terminus and a gathering place for the functions in the particular park area and connectivity with the developable tracks. This particular drawing does show the extension of Gill Street. Gill Street currently comes out of the Policery Complex. This would be a new city street. It would be on the south side of the development, creating the envelope and the utility corridor to support all of the development that would be in the Tract One area. We have right now included a water line in this area that has already been installed, and the Gill Street extension would actually be the infrastructure corridor for all of your water, sewer, electrical, sanitary sewer, gas, and other utilities.